The looming threat. The vast expanse of space had long been a source of wonder and speculation for humanity. For centuries, we gazed at the stars, dreaming of what might lie beyond our reach. Little did we know that our first encounter with extraterrestrial life would shatter those dreams and thrust us into a fight for survival that would reshape the galaxy. In the year 2157, the United Earth government received a transmission from the Galactic Council, a loose federation of spacefaring species. The message was clear: prepare for integration or face isolation. Earth's leaders were skeptical but intrigued. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, Earth's foremost xenolinguist, worked tirelessly to decipher the nuances of the alien communication. "There's something off about this message," Elena reported to the UEG Security Council. "The language is diplomatic, but there's an undercurrent of threat." General Marcus Chen, head of Earth's unified military forces, leaned forward. "What kind of threat are we talking about, Doctor?" Elena's holographic projection flickered as she pulled up data charts. "It's subtle, but there are linguistic markers consistent with coercion. I believe this Galactic Council isn't as benevolent as they're presenting themselves." The council chamber erupted into murmurs of concern. President Amara Okafor raised a hand, silencing the room. "If what Dr. Rodriguez says is true, we need to prepare for all possibilities. General Chen, what's the status of Project Prometheus?" Chen's face remained impassive, but a glimmer of pride shone in his eyes. "Ahead of schedule, Madam President. The fusion-powered ships are nearly complete, and our quantum communication network is operational. We can have a fleet ready in 18 months. "Make it 12, Okafor ordered. "I have a feeling we're going to need every second." As Earth scrambled to build its defenses, the true nature of the Galactic Council became apparent. Reports from deep space probes revealed a disturbing pattern. Worlds that refused integration disappeared from all communication channels. Those that accepted found themselves stripped of resources and autonomy. The Council was no federation. It was an empire, ruled by the Zacrians, a species of cold, calculating conquerors who saw the galaxy as their birthright. Their technology was centuries ahead of Earth's, their armies numbered in the billions, and their hunger for new worlds was insatiable. Earth's first direct contact with the Zacrians came not through diplomacy, but through a chance encounter in the Kuiper Belt. The UES Horizon, a research vessel mapping the outer solar system, detected an anomaly at the edge of Pluto's orbit. As they approached to investigate, a massive ship decloaked before them. Captain Yuki Tanaka's voice crackled over the quantum comm. "UAG Command, this is the Horizon. We have visual contact with an unknown vessel. It's like nothing we've ever seen." The feed cut out abruptly. For 3 agonizing hours, Earth waited. When communication was reestablished, the Horizon was in ruins, barely limping back to Neptune's orbit. Half the crew was dead, the survivors shell-shocked. "They didn't even hail us," Tanaka reported, her voice hollow. "Just opened fire. If we hadn't managed to overload our drive core to blind their sensors, none of us would have made it." The attack on the Horizon was the wake-up call Earth needed. The pretense of peaceful integration was dropped, and the planet mobilized for war. Underground cities were constructed, orbital defense platforms were deployed, and the Prometheus fleet took shape in hidden shipyards across the solar system. Dr. Rodriguez worked with a team of engineers to develop translation matrices and decryption algorithms, hoping to give Earth an edge in understanding Zacrian tactics and technology. General Chen oversaw the training of a new generation of soldiers and pilots, preparing them for combat in the unforgiving vacuum of space. As Earth fortified its defenses, the Zacrians made their intentions clear. A message was broadcast across all frequencies, translated in real time by Elena's team. "People of Earth, your pitiful attempts at resistance have been noted. You will surrender your world and submit to Zacrian rule, or you will be eradicated. You have 1 solar cycle to comply." President Okafor's response was broadcast not just to Earth, but to every corner of the galaxy where humans had placed beacons and probes. We will not surrender. We will not submit. Humanity has faced extinction before, and we have always emerged stronger. To the Jacreans, and any who would threaten our home, know this: Earth is not your prize to be taken. It is our fortress, and we will defend it to our last breath. As Okefer's words echoed across the stars, Earth braced for impact. The Jacrean armada was detected entering the solar system, a swarm of ships so vast it dimmed the light of distant stars. Humanity's greatest test was about to begin, and the fate of not just Earth, but countless subjugated worlds hung in the balance. In orbit around Mars, the Prometheus fleet awaited its orders. Captain Zaranwosu stood on the bridge of the flagship, the UES Defiant, watching as her crew made final preparations. She thought of her family back on Earth, of the billions of lives depending on them. "All hands," she called out, her voice steady despite the weight on her shoulders. "This is the moment we've trained for. Whatever comes next, remember, we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting for every species that's been crushed under the Jacrean boot. We're fighting for the right of all sentient beings to live free. Steel yourselves. History begins now." As the first wave of Jacrean ships entered Mars orbit, humanity held its breath. The opening volley of the greatest war the galaxy had ever seen was about to be fired, and Earth's future hung by a thread. The invasion begins. The void between Mars and Earth erupted in a dazzling display of destruction as the Prometheus fleet engaged the Jacrean armada. Captain Zaranwosu's voice rang out over the quantum comm network. "All ships, execute maneuver Theta. Don't let them get a lock on you." The UES Defiant led the charge, its experimental phase shift drive allowing it to blink in and out of normal space, confounding Jacrean targeting systems. Earth ships darted between the lumbering alien dreadnoughts, their smaller size and superior maneuverability turning the battle into a deadly dance. On Earth, General Marcus Chen watched the unfolding chaos from the holographic command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. "Status report," he barked. A young lieutenant's fingers flew across her console. "Sir, we're holding our own in orbit, but the Jacreans are pushing through. Estimate planetfall in 30 minutes. Chen's jaw clenched. "Alert all ground forces. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." As the battle raged in space, the first Jacrean drop pods pierced Earth's atmosphere. They streaked across the sky like vengeful meteors, slamming into cities and strategic locations across the globe. The alien invaders that emerged were a terrifying sight. 9-foot-tall armored behemoths with multiple limbs, each wielding weapons that could vaporize a human with a single shot. In New Delhi, Lieutenant Aisha Kapoor led her platoon through the smoke-filled streets, the sound of alien weaponry mixed with the staccato of human gunfire. "Keep moving," she shouted, gesturing towards a group of civilians huddled behind an overturned bus. "We need to get these people to the underground shelters." As Aisha's team escorted the civilians, a Jacrean war machine rounded the corner. It towered 3 stories high, walking on 6 spindly legs, its central pod bristling with cannons. Aisha's heart raced, but her voice remained steady. "Javelin team, target the legs. Everyone else, suppressing fire." The coordinated attack brought the war machine crashing down, its fall crushing several parked vehicles. As the dust settled, Aisha allowed herself a small smile. "See that?" she called to her troops. "They're not invincible. We can hurt them. We can win." Similar scenes played out across the globe. In Rio de Janeiro, local militia fought alongside army regulars to hold the spaceport. In Cairo, engineers used repurposed construction exoskeletons to grapple with Jacrean infantry. And in the skies over Tokyo, Wing Commander Hiroshi Tanaka led a squadron of next-generation fighters against alien dropships. "Fox 3. Hiroshi called out as he released another salvo of missiles. The Jacrean ship before him erupted in a ball of blue flame. "That's for the horizon," he muttered, thinking of his sister Yuki and her devastated research vessel. Back in orbit, the space battle had reached a fever pitch. Captain Nwosu's Defiant had taken heavy damage, its hull breached in multiple sections. Reroute power from life support to weapons, she ordered, ignoring the alarms blaring around her. We need to punch a hole in their line. As the Defiant prepared for what might be its final run, a transmission cut through the chaos. It was Dr. Elena Rodriguez, broadcasting from her lab in Geneva. To all Earth forces, we've cracked it. The Jekrian Battle Network, we can see what they see. Elena's team had been working around the clock, analyzing every scrap of data from the battles. They discovered a vulnerability in the aliens' quantum entanglement communication system. By piggybacking on their signals, Earth forces could now anticipate Jekrian movements. The effect was immediate and dramatic. On the ground, human defenders began to turn the tide, setting up ambushes and avoiding traps. In space, the Prometheus fleet's coordination became uncanny, as if each captain could read the minds of their alien opponents. President Amara Okafor, who had refused to leave the White House despite the danger, addressed the world. People of Earth, take heart. We are bloodied but unbroken. The enemy thought to find us weak, divided. Instead, they have awakened a fury they could never have imagined. Stand firm. Fight on. For Earth, for humanity. Her words, translated into every language, broadcast on every frequency, ignited a fire in the hearts of defenders worldwide. Civilians joined the fight, using whatever weapons they could find. In the farms of Kenya, machetes and hunting rifles held the line against alien patrols. In the suburbs of Melbourne, impromptu Molotov cocktails rained down on Jekrian walkers. The Jekrians, for the first time in their long history of conquest, found themselves facing an enemy that refused to break. Every mile they advanced was paid for in blood, every victory Pyrrhic. Their commanders, used to swift subjugation, grew frustrated and careless. In low Earth orbit, Captain Nwosu saw her opportunity. All ships, form up on the Defiant. We're going to punch straight through their center. The battered Earth fleet coalesced into a spearhead formation. Nwosu's voice was grim but determined as she gave her final orders. Divert all power to forward shields and engines. We're ramming the command ship. The Defiant accelerated to relativistic speeds, its hull glowing white-hot from the stress. Behind it, the remaining Earth ships fired every weapon they had, creating a corridor of chaos through which the Defiant streaked. On the bridge of the Jekrian flagship, Supreme Commander Zexkara watched in disbelief as the human vessel grew larger in the viewscreen. Impossible, he muttered. They wouldn't dare. The impact was catastrophic. The Defiant's experimental drive core detonated on contact, creating a blast that rippled through space-time itself. When the light faded, a significant portion of the Jekrian fleet had been reduced to scattered atoms. On Earth, cheers erupted as news of the space victory spread. But the fight was far from over. Jekrian ground forces, cut off from their command and supply lines, fought with increased desperation. In the ruins of what was once downtown Los Angeles, General Chen coordinated the final pushes to drive the aliens from North America. They're on the ropes, he told his gathered officers. One more big push and we can end this. As the sun set on the first day of the invasion, Earth stood bloody but unbowed. The Jekrians had expected an easy conquest. Instead, they found themselves trapped on a world that seemed to have transformed into one massive fortress, facing a species that refused to go quietly into the night. In hidden bunkers and makeshift command centers, Earth's leaders and brightest minds worked feverishly. They knew that this was just the beginning. The Jekrians would return. And when they did, humanity needed to be ready. Dr. Rodriguez, her eyes red from lack of sleep, but burning with determination, addressed her team. We've bloodied their nose, but now the real work begins. We need to understand their technology, reverse engineer it, improve upon it. The next time they come, we'll be waiting, not just to defend, but to take the fight to them. As the battles raged on, as heroes emerged from the most unlikely places, One thing became clear. Earth was no longer just a blue marble spinning in the void. It had become the front line in a war for the future of the galaxy. And humanity, against all odds, was rising to the challenge. Turning the tide. The weeks following the initial Zikrian assault were a blur of constant combat, desperate innovation, and unlikely alliances. Humanity, pushed to the brink, began to reveal the true depths of its resilience and ingenuity. In the scorched ruins of Arnon, Dr. Elena Rodriguez worked tirelessly alongside a team of international scientists. They had made a breakthrough in understanding Zikrian technology, particularly their faster-than-light drive systems. It's not just about speed, Elena explained to a holographic gathering of world leaders. Their drives manipulate space-time itself, but there's a flaw, a quantum instability we can exploit. President Amara Okafor leaned forward, her hologram flickering slightly. How soon can we weaponize this knowledge, Doctor? Elena's eyes gleamed with a mix of excitement and trepidation. We already have. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Project Singularity. The holographic display shifted, showing a sleek, arrow-shaped device. This, Elena continued, can create a localized disruption in the fabric of space-time. Deployed correctly, it can trap Zikrian ships in a pocket universe, effectively removing them from our reality. A murmur of amazement rippled through the gathering. General Chen's hologram spoke up. Impressive, Doctor, but can we mass-produce these in time? We'll have to, Elena replied grimly. Our long-range sensors show another Zikrian fleet assembling at the edge of our solar system. We have weeks, at most. As Project Singularity ramped up production in hidden facilities across the globe, other innovations were changing the face of the war. In Nairobi, a young engineer named Kwesi Okoro had perfected a method of adapting Zikrian energy weapons for human use. The power source was the key, Kwesi explained to a group of wide-eyed soldiers. We couldn't replicate it exactly, but we found a way to jury-rig our fusion cells to power their weapons. It's not pretty, but it works. One of the soldiers hefted the hybridized weapon, a mix of sleek alien technology and rugged human engineering. Oh, this is gonna even the odds, she grinned. Meanwhile, in the skies above what was once the Amazon rainforest, Wing Commander Hiroshi Tanaka led a daring raid against a Zikrian ground base. His squadron now flew upgraded fighters, retrofitted with reverse-engineered alien tech. Remember, people. Hiroshi's voice crackled over the comm. Hit them hard and fast. Their anti-air defenses can't track us if we stay under Mach 3. The fighters screamed across the canopy, their new plasma cannons reducing Zikrian installations to molten slag. As they pulled up from their attack run, Hiroshi allowed himself a grim smile. That's for Tokyo, he muttered. But it wasn't just military might that was turning the tide. In the vast server farms of Silicon Valley, now protected by kilometers of rock, an unlikely hero emerged. Zara Chen, a 16-year-old programming prodigy and General Chen's daughter, had been working on cracking the Zikrian battle network. Dad, she called out, her voice trembling with excitement. I did it. I'm in their system. General Chen rushed to his daughter's workstation, watching in awe as Zikrian battle plans and communications scrolled across the screen. Zara, this could change everything. Within hours, Zora's cyber intrusion had spread across the globe. Human resistance fighters found themselves armed with real-time intelligence on Zikrian movements. Ambushes were set, traps were sprung, and alien advances ground to a halt. In orbit, the remnants of the Prometheus fleet, bolstered by hastily constructed new vessels, prepared for the coming Zikrian reinforcements. Captain Yuki Tanaka, recovered from her ordeal on the horizon and now in command of the UES Vengeance, addressed her crew. They thought they could break us, she said, her voice firm. They thought we would kneel before their might. But they didn't count on human stubbornness. They didn't count on human creativity. And they sure as hell didn't count on human vengeance. As the new Zikrian Armada approached, humanity sprung its trap. Project Singularity devices, launched from stealth platforms, activated in carefully calculated patterns. Huge swathes of the alien fleet simply vanished, trapped in pocket dimensions. The remaining Zikrian ships, disoriented and separated, fell prey to the newly empowered human fleet. Plasma beams lanced across the void, guided by targeting systems that could predict alien maneuvers before they happened. On the Zikrian command ship, Supreme Commander Zexkara watched in horror as his invasion force was decimated. "Impossible," he snarled. "These primitives, how are they doing this?" His musings were cut short as the UES Vengeance decloaked directly in front of his vessel. Captain Yuki Tanaka's voice came through on all frequencies. "This is for the horizon, for Earth, for every world you've terrorized. Burn in hell." The Vengeance unleashed its full arsenal, its weapons guided by Zora's hacked intel and powered by Queasy's hybrid technology. The Zikrian command ship erupted in a spectacular explosion, visible even from Earth's surface. As news of the space victory spread, resistance cells worldwide launched coordinated attacks on Zikrian ground forces. In Paris, the alien garrison found itself under assault from both the French Foreign Legion and an army of combat drones controlled by civilian hackers. In the mountains of Tibet, monks who had sworn vows of peace now fought with terrible efficiency. Their monasteries turned into fortresses that the Zikrians couldn't breach. And in the streets of New York, a Galactic militia led by Lieutenant Aisha Kapoor, who had been presumed dead after the fall of New Delhi, emerged from the subway tunnels to reclaim the city block by block. As the sun set on what would later be known as Victory Day, humanity allowed itself a collective breath of relief. The Zikrian invasion had been repelled. Earth, against all odds, stood triumphant. But in hidden bunkers and command centers, Earth's leaders knew the truth. This was not the end, but merely the end of the beginning. The Zikrians would return, and next time, humanity wouldn't be fighting for survival. They would be fighting for retribution. President Okafor addressed a battered but unbroken world. "Today, we have shown the galaxy that humanity will not go quietly into the night. We have proven that our spirit cannot be crushed, our will cannot be broken. But our work is not done. The stars themselves have become our new frontier, and we will meet whatever challenges they hold head-on. Today, we defended Earth. Tomorrow, we take the fight to them." As cheers erupted worldwide, as families reunited and the work of rebuilding began, a new sense of purpose filled the air. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged stronger. The Zikrians had sought to conquer a planet of primitives, but instead they had awakened a sleeping giant. And that giant was now looking to the stars, ready to carve out its place in a hostile universe. The counterattack. The year was 2160, 3 years since the Zikrian invasion of Earth. The scars of battle still mirrored the planet's surface, but humanity's gaze was no longer earthbound. Massive shipyards orbited the moon, churning out vessels that melded human innovation with reverse-engineered alien technology. The time had come for humanity to take the fight to the stars. Operation Nemesis, as it was called, was the most ambitious military campaign in human history. Its goal: to liberate the world subjugated by the Zikrian Empire and dismantle their tyrannical regime. Aboard the UES Prometheus, the flagship of Earth's new fleet, Admiral Yuki Tanaka stood before a holographic map of the galaxy. Around her, the command crew worked with quiet efficiency, a mix of seasoned veterans and bright-eyed cadets. "Status report," Yuki ordered, her voice calm but tinged with anticipation. Lieutenant Commander Queasy Okoro, now head of the ship's engineering division, spoke up. "All systems nominal. Admiral, the Singularity drive is stable and ready for our first jump." Dr. Elena Rodriguez, who had insisted on joining the mission, added, "The Galactic translator is online. We should be able to communicate with any species we encounter." Yuki nodded, then turned to face the view screen. Earth hung in the distance, a blue marble that now seemed so small against the vastness of space. "Send the signal." It's time. Across the solar system, humanity's armada sprang to life. Hundreds of ships, from nimble fighters to massive dreadnoughts, engaged their singularity drives. In a dazzling display of light, they vanished, leaving behind a solar system that suddenly felt empty. Light years away, in a star system the Jacreans had designated as Agricultural World 2274, alarms blared in the orbital command station. The overseer, a hulking Zikrian male, bellowed at his subordinates. "What's happening?" Before anyone could answer, space itself seemed to tear open. The human fleet emerged, weapons already charging. Admiral Tanaka's voice boomed across all frequencies, translated into the local dialect. "Attention, people of this world. We are the United Earth Fleet. We come to liberate you from Jacrean oppression. To the Jacrean forces, surrender now or face annihilation." The battle was swift and decisive. The Jacreans, caught completely off guard, could barely mount a defense before their command station was reduced to drifting debris. On the planet's surface, the subjugated alien race, a species of six-limbed beings with iridescent skin, watched in awe as their oppressors' ships fell from the sky. As the dust settled, Dr. Rodriguez led the first contact team to the planet's surface. The locals, initially fearful, soon realized these new arrivals were different from the Jacreans. Belina's translator worked overtime as she explained Earth's history with the Jacreans and their mission of liberation. The leader of the local resistance, a being named Axorlath, stepped forward. "For generations, we have suffered under Jacrean rule. We had lost hope that anyone in the galaxy could stand against them. You have given us back that hope." Similar scenes played out across dozens of star systems. The human fleet, moving with a speed and coordination that the Jacreans couldn't match, liberated world after world. With each victory, they gained new allies, new technologies, and new insights into the structure of the Jacrean Empire. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. In the Sigma Draconis system, the fleet encountered fierce resistance. A Jacrean battle group, led by Fleet Lord Kexfor, a decorated veteran, had dug in around a strategically vital planet. Admiral Tanaka's voice was grim as she addressed the fleet. "This is it, people. The enemy knows we're coming now. They'll throw everything they have at us. But remember, we're not just fighting for Earth anymore. We're fighting for every species that suffered under Jacrean rule. Failure is not an option." The battle that ensued was the stuff of legend. Human ships danced between plasma bolts, their singularity drives allowing them to pop in and out of normal space. Jacrean dreadnoughts exploded like miniature suns as Earth's advanced weapons found their marks. In the thick of the fighting, Wing Commander Hiroshi Tanaka led his squadron on a daring attack run against the Jacrean flagship. Just like the trench run in that old movie, he quipped over the comm. "Red 5, standing by." His fighters weaved through a maelstrom of anti-aircraft fire, launching their payloads with pinpoint accuracy. The Jacrean flagship's shields flickered and died, leaving it vulnerable to the Prometheus's main gun. As the flagship erupted in a spectacular explosion, a cheer went up across the human fleet. Fleet Lord Kexfor, in his final moments, could only watch in disbelief as his supposedly invincible armada was reduced to scattered debris. But the victory came at a cost. Several human ships had been destroyed, their crews making the ultimate sacrifice. Among the fallen was Hiroshi Tanaka, who had stayed behind to ensure his squadron escaped the flagship's explosion. In the aftermath of the battle, as medics tended to the wounded and engineers rushed to repair damaged systems, Admiral Yuki Tanaka stood alone in her quarters. She held a hologram of her brother Hiroshi, tears streaming down her face. "We did it, little brother," she whispered. "We made them pay." Back on Earth, in the underground command center beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Marcus Chen received the after-action reports. His weathered face broke into a rare smile as he read of the fleet's victories. But his joy was tempered by the list of casualties, each name a reminder of the cost of war. Beside him, His daughter Zura worked furiously at her console. "Dad," she called out, excitement in her voice. "I found something. A weakness in the Jacrian central network. If we can exploit this, we might be able to bring down their entire command structure." Chen's eyes widened as he looked at Zora's findings. "Get me a secure line to Admiral Tanaka," he ordered. "This could be the key to ending the war." As the human fleet regrouped and repaired, as newly liberated worlds joined the alliance against Jacrian tyranny, a sense of cautious optimism spread. The galaxy was changing, the balance of power shifting. Humanity, once dismissed as primitive by the Jacrians, had become the spark that ignited a galactic revolution. But in the depths of space, on a hidden world that didn't appear on any star chart, the Jacrian High Command was gathering. Supreme Overlord Zexkera, his body enhanced by experimental cybernetics, addressed his most trusted generals. "These humans," he snarled, "have proven to be more than mere pests. They threaten everything we have built. It is time to unleash our ultimate weapon. Prepare the World Eater." As Zexkera's words echoed through the chamber, a massive shape stirred in the orbit of the hidden world, a construct the size of a small moon, bristling with weapons that could crack planets. The Zacrian's doomsday device was awakening, and the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. The stage was set for the final confrontation. Humanity and its allies, armed with courage, innovation, and a burning desire for freedom, against the full might of a tyrannical empire that had terrorized the galaxy for millennia. The next battle would determine not just the outcome of the war, but the future of all sentient life in the cosmos. A new galactic order. The vast expanse of space crackled with tension as two colossal forces prepared for their final confrontation. On one side, the combined fleet of Earth and its alien allies, a testament to cooperation and the universal desire for freedom. On the other, the remaining might of the Jacrian Empire, centered around their terrifying superweapon, the World Eater. Aboard the UES Prometheus, Admiral Yuki Tanaka stood before a holographic display of the battlefield. Representatives from a dozen alien species surrounded her, each bringing unique insights and capabilities to the fight. "The Jacrians have backed themselves into a corner," Yuki explained, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "They've concentrated their forces around the World Eater. Our mission is clear: destroy that monstrosity and cut the head off the Empire." Orlath, the resistance leader from the first world Earth liberated, spoke up. "Admiral, my people have analyzed the World Eater's energy emissions, its power source. It's unlike anything we've ever seen. I fear even our combined fleet might not be enough to breach its defenses." A grim silence fell over the command center. Then, Dr. Elena Rodriguez stepped forward, her eyes gleaming with that familiar look of scientific breakthrough. "Maybe we don't need to destroy it," she said. "Zara's hack into their network gave us more than just intelligence. It gave us access. What if we could turn their weapon against them?" As Elena outlined her audacious plan, mixing human ingenuity with alien insights, a spark of hope ignited among the gathered leaders. It was dangerous, borderline insane, but it just might work. Yuki nodded, her decision made. "Prepare for battle stations, and get me a secure line to Earth. We'll need Zora's expertise for this." As the Allied fleet moved into position, the Jacrian forces bristled with weaponry. At the center of their formation, the World Eater loomed, an artificial celestial body that dwarfed even the largest ships. Supreme Overlord Zexkera's voice boomed across all frequencies. "Foolish creatures, you've come to witness the end of your pathetic rebellion. Once your fleet is dust, we will use the World Eater to systematically destroy your homeworlds. The galaxy will once again know its rightful masters." Admiral Tanaka's response was cold and clear. "The only thing ending today is your reign of terror, Zexkera. Humanity says hello." With that, the greatest battle in galactic history erupted. Thousands of ships clashed in a dazzling display of advanced technology. Plasma beams crisscrossed the void, singularity torpedoes warped space itself, and fighters darted between capital ships like swarms of angry insects. On Earth, Zara Chen sat in her fortified bunker, surrounded by banks of quantum. Today, we honor those who gave their lives so that countless beings across the galaxy might know freedom, she said, her voice carrying to every corner of the planet and beyond. We came to the brink of extinction, and in doing so, found our place among the stars. The road ahead is long, but we will walk it together, with our new allies, into a brighter future. As Okafor's words faded, Admiral Yuki Tanaka, Dr. Elena Rodriguez, Zara Chen, and representatives from dozens of alien species stepped forward. Together, they unveiled a monument, a holographic globe showing not just Earth, but hundreds of worlds, all interconnected. The inscription read, "To all those who fought, on Earth and across the stars, that freedom might flourish, your sacrifice lit the way." In the years that followed, humanity took its place as a leader in the galactic community. The World Eater, once an instrument of destruction, was repurposed into a massive solar collection array, providing clean energy to worlds ravaged by war. Earth's cities were rebuilt, gleaming metropolises that combined the best of human and alien technology. The scars of invasion faded, replaced by monuments to peace and cooperation. And on clear nights, when the stars shone bright, people would look up and remember they had faced the darkness and emerged stronger. They had found their fury, yes, but also their compassion, their ingenuity, and their place in a vast, wondrous universe. The Jekrians had sought to conquer a primitive world. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant and filled it with a terrible resolve. Humanity had not just survived. It had thrived, transforming from the hunted to the protectors of galactic peace. As ships of all shapes and sizes zipped between the stars, carrying traders, diplomats, and explorers, a new era dawned. The galaxy, once a place of terror and oppression, now pulsed with the promise of discovery and cooperation. And at the heart of it all was Earth, no longer a small blue marble, isolated and alone, but the shining jewel of a united galaxy, a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity and the power of hope against all odds. The end of the Jekrian War was not just a victory for Earth, but the beginning of a new chapter in galactic history, a chapter written in the stars by the combined efforts of countless species, all united in the pursuit of freedom, knowledge, and a future limited only by the bounds of imagination.